you on time?
I feel like I was right on to when I came into the StreamYard. It said that I had a solid 8 seconds before we were supposed to go live.
Well, now that we are live, welcome everybody. It is going to be our breakdown for Daredevil.
Everything you ever wanted to. That's not true.
We're going to do episodes 1 through 5. The first
we are?
couple of yeah, we're just going to give our brief thoughts on that because I forgot to do a review for episode 3, so I figured we'll just do 3, 4, and 5. So we'll do quick thoughts on the 3rd and 4th episode, and then we'll go to the 5th and 6th episode.
I don't even know if I remember them.
You will when I tell you. So,
why?
So really quick, let's just give our brief. You guys can watch our episode 1 and 2 review.
Say hello to all of the wonderful people in the chat.
Oh, hello, chat.
There's no one.
There's 0 so far, but that's all right. It isn't the first time we've talked to ourselves, and we're talking to the people if they're a minute in that are watching the replay. So hi, replay people.
The people. The people.
Welcome, replay people. This message is for you. Just know, when we went through this stream later, we had more people. You're just seeing the beginning of it now. So we both did episodes.
I'm just doing this in case Perp watches later, so he knows that it's me.
Okay, good, because you've been throwing Perp off. So let's talk about just quickly on the first 2 episodes. I think we gave them, an 8 or a 9, and just our quick thoughts on that. I thought it was good setup. What did you think? I vaguely remember that stream. I was pretty stoned. Can I say so on
YouTube? It's at the end of episode 2 where he beats up the 2 cops?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yells, "Ah!"
Right, so everything was leading up to that, essentially. I don't know. Yeah, they were good. They were good. I feel like I remember saying to you that I was a little disappointed with the first episode. Like I don't know, I was just expecting a little more pizzazz.
But you know what's crazy? I felt like
wasn't bad though. It's not like you can point to something and be like, "Oh, well, that was not so good."
Yeah, I think the big thing with this show, we should stress to people, this is like the last thing for us to hold on to as far as Marvel been, because lately their movies ain't been that great. The television shows after WandaVision, at least in my opinion, and Loki, were not very good. So this has been an interesting show because it is very consistently good. I dare say, we haven't seen the rest, so I don't want to jinx it like with this previous show. I think we might be on Penguin level good as far as
maybe
the writing and the dialogue, because there's a lot of court scenes as we go through these reviews, and court drama is hard to do. And it's hard to keep people's interest in the court drama. But I'll be honest with you, there's some moments. So let's just jump to episode 3, right? Because we did our review of 1 and 2. In 3, it's the defense of White Tiger. And what I love about this episode...
that's what episode 3 was.
Yep. And for me, I thought this was some of the most compelling television without fighting it. Like, I don't know if you like Law and Order or shit like that, but a good court drama...
I have watched my fair share of court or lawyer shows.
Now, some people called out that the judge wouldn't have concealed the vigilante thing, and I think that is an error in writing, because I watched Suits, or what was the other one we were talking about? Oh yeah, Suits was a great show. Or what was the other one?
Boston Legal in Practice.
And Boston Legal, right? Yeah. So people had a problem, and I could kind of understand. Not all of the legal jargon was tight, but for the most part, 90% of it did feel like a court drama. What did you think about the courtroom stuff? Did it intrigue you? Were you on the edge of your seat?
I liked the courtroom episode. I feel like I gave that one an 8, I'm pretty sure. Like, it was
good.
Okay.
So you're going to hear my rating for the first time.
I like the fact that I don't know if they have different directors, but I assume that has the same writer, at least for the season, to tell the story. I mean, maybe they have individual writers for certain lines of dialogue in an episode or something like that. But the story being that there's essentially no action happening, which, is different for a comic book series. I don't want to say hero because they're not all heroes. Okay?
No, this is a lot more. And that's
Right,
why I
it's
told
not
you
like-
need to watch the original Netflix. You would like this because Daredevil. Okay, I want to clear something up because there's this rumor going around the internet. Okay, Daredevil is not exactly a hero, people. He is an anti-hero. Like, he's not on the same line as Frank yet. Okay, but I put him right up there with like Batman from DC. Like, Daredevil in this universe is not always the good guy. Like, and I think the interesting thing about this show is showing Fisk and Matt. And you kind of
Mr. Fisker.
yeah, and I like the dynamic of where you're seeing that they both have this same rage, and it's really that old like Batman Joker thing. You have Kingpin, Daredevil, and they're kind of a mirror to each other. They're almost
What do you mean? They're like the same person.
Well, see, Daredevil doesn't kill like Fisk would, but like, we know
Doesn't
his
he?
solution. I mean,
He wants
okay,
to.
like I
He
said, you're
wants
missing
to.
3 years of Netflix.
He needs
is
to.
canon now.
Well, okay, he needs to go on a retreat with Frank.
Can you imagine how that would go? Frank, William, and Daredevil all need to go to like one of those anger management courses.
No, I don't want. No, I want Daredevil to manage his anger the way that Frank does.
So, okay.
Let it all out.
Okay, so we both agree on an 8. A lot of good courtroom stuff. Now, the one big thing we got to talk about, and I wanted to get your opinion, because I thought this was excellent, because if people don't know, White Tiger traditionally in the comic is actually a female. All the people screaming, "Whoa, shut the fuck up." Yeah, it's and I heard that Jenna Ortega is cast to play her in maybe a live action role. So it makes a lot of sense with them going the Spanish route. But I want to say, if you didn't know, that actor who played Hector, he died after shooting this. So first off, kudos and props to the actor. I think he did a fucking amazing job. But what did you think about that stinger?
Was he?
Where
Was
the dude
that?
just
Was that
shot
the way
him
it
in
was
the head?
supposed to? Was that the way it was supposed to play out?
Yeah, that was how it was originally supposed to play out. It was just kind of weird. The guy died after it, too.
Okay.
So that's fucking freaky that
Right.
the actor dies in the show and he died before, which means he wouldn't have been able to, if we liked him, he wouldn't have been able to continue the role anyways.
What's up? I'm just going to call you Mr. Catholic. Sure.
Yes. He does have a good point. Thank you. The OG White Tiger, you're right. He was male originally, but he had been for most of the run the daughter, a female. So yes, you are correct. They first originally did do the character as a male, which is crazy because this show actually follows that order because it was her father. You know what's crazy, PB? It's almost like they're following the fucking comic book lore and they have a good show. Like I've been saying for how long? I fucking win this one. See, they're following the source material and we're getting some good results. What do you gotta say about that, PB? 1 for source material. If you guys are just joining me, I've been trying to win this.
Is the story the same as it is in the comic?
Yeah, this is called, this is off of a run called The Devil's Dark Day or something like that. But yeah, they're following very close. They're not following the Born Again comic because Netflix already did that. They're following a different run. And they're following the original run with White Tiger because White Tiger got killed. And then his daughter or niece or someone wind up getting the amulet. So they copied it beat for beat. But you know what got me about the scene? Before we move on to episode 4, what got me about the scene was I sat there and the cop just walks up to him, blows his fucking brains out. You get that sad music, right? And I go, why the fuck hasn't criminals been doing this all of this time? Like, you could Captain America's a normal dude. You just go up and shoot him in the back of the head. That's the end. Like, these villains have been making these ridiculous plots, and the whole time all you had to do, like, the amulet, and they said this in the episode, remember, it gave him agility, strength, whatever. He was like fireproof or something, right? But if you just walk up and shoot him in the head, he's still a dude. So I found that so fucking hilarious. What were you thinking when you saw that scene?
I was thinking that the cops have some resources. And the same thing that everybody was thinking was, yeah, that definitely was not Frank. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think that it was him.
But and that's the one thing, and we'll get to it when we get to the last episode we debate about, but not often. There is some spots in the writing and even some tech things we'll get to later where it's just like they do stuff so well, but then when you have a problem with doing everything really good is when you make a mistake in the writing, it really shows. Okay, so episode 4. This is one where we finally see what Frank Castle has been up to. I just want to say
he's got quite the lair. He reminded me
I'm giving this episode a 9.
What's his? Why can't I remember his last name? Casey from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What the hell's his last name?
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. There you go.
Yeah, Casey Jones. You almost have me for a second. Oh yeah. I'm giving this episode a 9. Now there was a lot of slow stuff. There was a thing with him talking to the mob bosses and things like that. But why I rate the episode so high, and I'm just gonna say it, is because I'm a complete Punisher whore. And did they not have the best scene in the whole entire episode? And folks, once again, we want to point out, this is not a fighting scene. It's not an action scene. It's not even a lawyer scene. It's two guys talking about murdering someone and losing friends. I'm not going to lie, I got choked up when he said, say his name, and he refused. He goes, go ahead, Red, say your friend's name. What's his name?
I like that he calls him Red, because obviously I didn't know he did that. I was like, oh, that's a nice short version.
Yeah, because you missed it. We're going to go back and watch the Netflix show.
Probably not.
Oh, you will. But he figured out who Daredevil was. He actually shot his mask off of his face and chained him to a roof. It's a whole thing. You love the scene. But anyways, so yeah, he knows his real identity. And I thought it was so interesting to see that the Punisher literally said he was like him because they both lost people. You know, he lost his family. Daredevil lost Foggy. They both now like share that. And where he's like, you just want me to give you an excuse to go and murder someone. And I was like, and I love Punisher because he calls out people's bullshit. He's like, you're not here, to say your piece. You're here because I'm a killer and you want me to tell you it's all right. And this is, I think, what you were bringing up to me about episode 6. And we'll get to some of the issues in that. Don't worry. We're leading up to it, folks. But I'm starting to get the point you were making to me earlier. This is not a story about how did you put it to me? It was not about the option of killing, like, what makes people a hero, a superhero. Daredevil at this point is choosing to kill people or not choosing to kill people, and circumstances make him go the other direction. But he is still willing to kill people now. He's like fully tipped, which makes one of the scenes really not work. But we'll get there when we get there. But what did you think of episode 4? I gave it a 9.
Episode 4 with Frank. What else happens in there? What's Fisk doing in episode 4? Is that when they start therapy?
Yeah.
Or is that the previous episode?
No, that was when they started therapy, and he told the people to just fix the pothole, which that was going to get it.
Oh, that was a good. I like that.
That was a great
scene. That was good.
Yeah, so I was about I'm about 9.
Yeah, I feel like I'd end up giving that one a 9. I wonder what I gave it on the old TV time app. That one I can only go 1 through 5 stars, though. That's the only problem.
Okay,
For
so
the
then
episodes. Episode 4. I gave
okay,
it
so now
4 stars, so I must have gave it an 8.
okay. Well, I'm 9-8. Either way, it's still a great episode. Now, let's get to the 2 episodes I just played. Let's talk in depth about episode 5. This is a separate story in essence, and it is a bank heist. And there's been very split talk. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't like this episode or get it. I'm gonna say I disagree. This episode, to me, like right off of the thing that comes to mind, is a 9, just because I'm Irish and they used Irish bank
Oh
robbers.
my god.
And you know that I've been saying the praises of the Miss Marvel for how long, and they have the dad from Miss Marvel in there, and I think that is gonna create a nice
Don't forget
connection.
about Jack.
And Jack, yeah, yep,
The Sword Man.
the Sword Man. So we had a lot of cool connective things in this episode, and I love the bank heist itself. Like, I think the way they constructed this and the way that they set everything up, it was very thrilling. It was very entertaining, and the back and forth between this episode, Charlie Cox did some fucking great acting, and the back and forth between him and the bank robbers, and the one Irish guy was like, "You're a wee Oliver Twisttail, aren't you, boy?" And I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, it really seemed like this episode was designed exclusively to introduce whoever this female cop is. That's what it felt
yeah.
like.
So that female cop, I was trying to think of where I remember her from, and she was in
Daredevil?
WandaVision.
Oh.
She was in that. She was on the outside representing just the police, filling in for someone. So now that joke makes me laugh even more, because remember she said, "I'm just filling in for Captain such and such." So once again, yeah, when they were talking, because it was after the Asian cop for St. Patty's Day, they go, "Oh, you're not the normal negotiator." She goes, "No, I'm just filling in for Captain whoever." She did the same thing in WandaVision. So I think that's where the connection is. It's like a funny little inside joke, and I would have never figured that out if I didn't go back into WandaVision, and I had forgotten that show. But yeah, that's where she's from. That's why we could place where we had seen her before. Now, I don't know if she's the exact same cop or it just happens to be a coincidence, or if Marvel's giving us a little nod, but I thought that's pretty fucking funny. And that would be even more interesting if she was the same police officer for like all of these events, and you just see her like pop up in different shows every time.
That'd be pretty funny. I mean, I'd be all right with a character like that. It makes me feel, well, it doesn't make me feel. It gives me the feeling that the universe is more connected when you see a character like, I thought they were going to do that with, oh gosh, I can never remember his freaking name. The Asian guy from Ant-Man, the FBI agent or whatever.
Oh, yeah, FBI, whatever. Because he was in WandaVision too.
I thought he was going to get like upgraded to shield level clearance at some point, and then he was going to be like the new Coulson, because everybody thought it was going to be what's his face from Black Panther, but get the fuck out.
Yeah. that's done, yeah.
I don't even remember that guy's name. Well, I don't remember either of their names, so I guess I suck at being a
fan. But to be honest with you, though, I think it's funnier that every now and again you just see him, because his presence is so random. So I don't mind it either way, because like, yeah, he's popped up in movies and shows, so I think he's just like a cool guy to have. Like, oh dang, because every time he's always in a like regular role. He's the police guy, or he's collecting evidence or something. Like, I would love to see him go through a Deadpool movie and be like the morgue guy or something. It's like, oh my god, again. But no, I get what you're saying. So we have the bank robbery. Did you notice something that I didn't pick this up? Because like the nerd, I went down the rabbit hole. But did you notice the bank robbers' masks? and the jewel that they were looking for all resembled the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, I
They were
didn't
like each stone.
realize. Oh, like the mask colors were each individual stone. I mean,
Yep.
when I seen the stone, I was like, oh, that gives me Tesseract vibes. Like it's got the weird aura about it that it's got some type of energy hidden inside of it, and it's gonna be a cosmic issue.
Yeah, it was just funny because I felt like this was just like, okay, so on its just watching it as an episode, it's a bank robbery that Daredevil is stopping. But there's so much more because I feel like this was an episode they made to sneak little Easter eggs in everywhere. Because I mean, some of them were obvious, like look at, we have our own hero, Miss Marvel, blah blah blah. Like there were obvious ones, and then there's these little ones where I've been going through different videos and they've pointed stuff out, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. So I like that they use this episode. It's quite separate. The next one gets back into the storyline, but it also helps develop Matt because remember, before he ignored people and ignored situations, and this time he chose to go back to the bank. He could have left because he was already out and just called the cops. But he did call the secretary and be like, call the police, but he went back. So I think this episode was to set up that he was going to become Daredevil, or at least that's my theory. Like he put the red mask on. I think this was an episode that was meant to be self-contained, but it also was meant to show you.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that he had the red mask on because I thought we were switching to gold.
Hopefully not. I hate the gold costume. I think it looks terrible. I like the yellow one.
I guess I did. What's the difference between gold and yellow? Whatever.
It's actually comic book related. It's supposed to be, those are all like Easter eggs to the different suits he wore throughout the years in the comics. But anyways, so he stops the heist. He does that sick leg break. If he's not killing people, they're definitely out of traction for a couple of years. Because like he not only broke that guy's leg, probably like a clean break, but he also stomped him while he was on the ground and knocked him out. So yeah, that guy has a concussion and a broken leg and all sorts of shit. And he stops the bank heist. They talk. There's an invitation there.
These are the things that I was just a little disappointed with. Yeah, you see the quality fight between these two, which, I mean, it's as good as it's going to be when it's Daredevil against a random bank robber. Like, I'm not expecting them to go back and forth. I'm essentially looking for him to beat the hell out of this guy. And he did. And then he broke his leg. And I don't think the camera could have cut away any faster.
No, because they did the foot stomp.
Yeah, I know he did the stomp to break his leg, and then they cut away up to the guy's face, where you can only see his face.
Oh, yeah, I think that was, you're right. I think that they knew that it was pretty, because you got to imagine it probably came up out of his skin and all that. I think that felt like a little pull away. I'll give you that, because they did do a quick cut super fast on that. I was like, damn, man, like I wanted to. Because, you know, up to now, they've been showing us the aftermath. Hell, they showed people hanging on chains and all sorts of crazy shit. So I think if you pause Muse's lair, you could see two heads on chains. Like, they were showing some wild shit. So I was like, why is this the one you choose to quick cut? Like, I don't know. You're right. See, there is a bit of weird choices. But all in all, the bank robbery one, I was feeling an 8. What are you thinking?
The bank robbery one, yeah, I would definitely go with an 8 for that. Like, it's pushing 9. It's definitely like the little character moments in there. Freaking like, I feel like that had so far in all of the episodes the best line of the entire series when he's like, "What kind of lawyer are you, Mr. Murdock?" A damn good one.
Yeah, they what does Perp say? they had the most quotables in that, and I felt the same way that you did. I love the episode. I think it's a great episode. Like you, I like the moments, but there's just little things. And yeah, the leg break, I think that subconsciously bothered me. There were a couple of other ones. I did like the fight scene where they drowned out all the noise, and all you heard was the guy's head banging into the thing. And I especially like when he like wrapped the dude up with his legs and grabbed the shotgun before it fell.
Oh
Like
yeah,
all of
that's
that was,
pretty impressive.
yeah, like all of it was cool. But like you said, this episode, every time I went to rate it, my gut just kept on saying 8. It just, there's some kind of magic it was missing. And I can't quite put my finger on what it is. But to be fair, so far we've had a lot of 8s and 9s in this show. So I mean, 8 is good. I don't know. It's so weird. Sometimes when you do these ratings, and I've had this, like I give something a 7 or an 8, people will be like, "What are you talking about? That was fucking amazing." It's like 8 is not a bad number. Eight is high. Eight's
Dude,
past
eight's
5.
really good.
Even if we're in 6, 6.5, that's still a movie we watch again.
I
It's
mean,
still
I
good.
the Batman got a 6.
And you would still watch it again?
I would watch it again.
I rest my case. Like 6 on
It's
is
beautifully
like,
shot. It's beautifully acted. I just I don't particularly like the story. Like that.
yeah. Whereas
That is
I
a
think you're fucking
personal.
nuts.
Well, everybody has a right to be stupid. That's fine.
But yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so, this has been the first Marvel show we've been this high. But let's get to the last episode, episode 6.
No, I've given ratings this high to other Marvel shows, but not as consistently. Like the other shows will have 8s and 9s for episodes, but then they'll also have 5s and 6.
Yeah, I think one of them we did had a 4 or 3.
I mean, maybe that probably was for a Marvel show. I feel like that would have been for a Star Wars show.
It might have been a Star Wars show.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's no way we gave one that low to any of
I think it might have been a Moon Knight episode.
What was right after Moon Knight?
God.
What am I forgetting? There's one that's right around Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel, and it's the one I'm forgetting.
She-Hulk? Because that has all 2s and 3s for me.
I don't think we want to go down that road.
No. Okay, so
I don't need to make you look foolish again.
So episode 6. This one starts off great. And let's start with the good before we get to the huge negative we have that a lot of people haven't caught. So this is where
what happened in episode 6? I just watched episode 6.
So this is the one where finally Muse is revealed, and we got some great moments. We see this anger building up within Matt and Kingpin, and they're doing a side-by-side thing. And Kingpin is getting tired because the mob bosses, they forgot about season 1 where he took the Russian's dude head and slammed it off with a car door. No, it's not. The Netflix shows are canon. This is
season 1 of Daredevil Born Again.
Okay, of Born Again, but it's in the Netflix universe. Anyways,
are you talking about Daredevil?
Canon. Yes.
Why don't you just
Daredevil is canon to Daredevil Born Again, and they used. I was using a plot from there where all of these guys know in the universe.
Why wouldn't you use the plot from there?
That he slammed off a dude's head with a car door. So now we have in this show, this Russia guy comes up and basically tells him he ain't paying tax. He ain't gonna do shit. He's gone soft. He's a little bitch. That's basically what I got.
And then he added $1 million fucking dollars to the bill.
He did, and like here's the thing though, you're starting to see they don't have the fear. So let me ask you: do you think he's gonna retaliate against these Russians, or do you think he's going to let his wife do it? Do you think he'll do it personally?
Oh,
Because
I
this guy's
think
got to get dealt with.
I'm quite certain he's going to show up Joker style, and he's not going to make the pen disappear. He's going to make the skull disappear. This mountain stuff.
I want to see him like
whoever this guy.
head.
I can't remember who the guy's name is. Luca. That's what it is. Luca.
Yeah, Luca.
When Luca does not pay this $2.8 million, he's going to have his head crushed like the mountain. Or I should say, like Pedro Pascal. Why can't I think of his name in the show?
So he had that, and then Matt gets a visit from the White Tiger's niece.
You could do something. What a little bitch. What a little bitch.
So I gotta say, this is some part I do want to call out. I felt like a lot of her lines felt like that old woke writing. God, I hate to say it because then everyone goes, but let me finish though. It feels like that woke writing because everything she said was non-fucking sensical. He's a blind lawyer. What is he like? She doesn't know yet he's Daredevil. So, like, you're just asking a blind lawyer who doesn't live where you live.
That's what was effed up. It's like, okay, this scene would make perfect sense after you find out that he's Daredevil, but it makes practically zero sense now. It's like, you don't even know him that well. He was your dad's lawyer. How much could you possibly know him?
Yeah, so it's like if we think about this in a real world sense and they make this grounded show, it made no sense that this girl came in and started yelling at him. And for me, that just it was poor writing on their part because it's just like, dude, he's a blind fucking lawyer. He can't do anything. And when he says call the police, I was like, that makes sense to what anybody would say. Even if you went to a lawyer who could see, right? He would say the same exact thing. You have to call the cops.
Who would go to a lawyer that could see, though?
Yeah. Not this guy. But anyway, so it's like, okay, you have that part, and that agitated me a bit. Then we get back to Kingpin shit. It's good. So he goes to a gala there, and he's got to kiss ass to all these people to get the development projects.
Oh my god, I thought he was gonna lose it.
And yeah, once again, I think this
I didn't think he was going to hurt anybody, but I thought he was going to cause a scene and say a whole bunch of words about how, oh, you people think that you're in charge, and then he's
that's what I was expecting. I thought that was going to be the moment he flipped out. No, his moment was definitely way better than Daredevil's. We'll get to that, but
was it?
I loved it. Just beating the shit out of Adam. That was fucking hilarious, but
you don't like Adam?
No.
What did he do to you?
I'm a villain. I'm gonna be voting.
Adam is also a villain.
He's not as much of a villain as Kingpin.
I'm not saying that he's as much villain as Kingpin. Nobody would say something stupid like that. What I'm saying is he is a villain. He was boning Kingpin's wife. You gotta be a very big villain to pull that shit off. Moron.
Dude, that was
it's not like you know who she is. You know who she is.
You knew who she was. Okay, so let's talk about that because this storyline has been the most fascinating for me, and I thought the same thing too. And welcome, you guys are gonna get the best commentary.
Oh, you're talking. Your favorite storyline is Wilson Fisk the cuck.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because
it's terrifying.
Because this is just the right environment we need to see what I'm guessing is going to be coming towards us really quickly. Him just going full on murder rampage. These are all the right ingredients because you can't keep this man bottled up like that. And we saw that towards the end. But anyways, he's in this gala and we get another cameo, which fit and made sense, and I fucking love. We got the swordsman, our boy from Hawkeye. We knew he'd be back. We called it. We said there's no way Jack was not going to come back. And here he is in this episode, and I love the dude, the writing in this show is so great. Like the dialogue when he was like, when he was talking about that, he was telling Kingpin to be careful with these people because he doesn't know the power that they have, and telling them that he could be in their mansion. He's like, "Are you threatening me?" He's like, "No, I'm just
It's a
warning you."
warning.
It's a warning. Like, dude, that scene with Kingpin and Jack, that was an awesome scene. How did you feel about them doing that little connection there? We hadn't seen that character
Oh
since
man,
Hawkeye, and he was one of our favorite
they made
characters.
Jack look so much older. Did he really get that much older? Is that show that old?
Yeah, he was pretty. Hey, hola, Carmen. How are you?
Holla.
So, yeah, he's got a little bit of gray going or whatnot, but you saw him in the video fighting. In the beginning, he was fighting those two guys. And I was like, "There's Jack." He's the only guy who uses a sword. I knew right away when they showed him. I was just waiting for him to show up because I was like, our boy is back. So we have the gala for him to get the city reconstruction project going. He's talking to the wife, and she's basically saying that he's got to use the same tactics that they do in order to get shit pushed through that he wants. He's got to use his power of being evil. Carbet says, "Where the heck have you been, Bear?"
Oh, I've been around. Didn't you see me, Carmen? I was looking in your window earlier.
Whoa, okay. So we've got the scene between Jack and
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
we have the scene between Jack and Wilson, which was pretty good.
Mr.
And
Fisk.
now
God,
he's saying he's going to use their tactics.
it was almost, for a moment there, it was almost my favorite moment, because I wasn't sure if they were going to actually bring him into the show, because I knew they were going to reference other characters, but I thought it was going to be just what is it, the BB segment, and then you see him out there doing the swordsman thing, and I was like, oh, I guess that's all we're going to see, and then he was fucking there. I was like, this is sweet as hell, man.
Yep, loved it. So we get to the next scene, and we see this is important, and this is what they didn't do in Civil War, and I told you was my biggest gripe. So in Civil War, there was this act called the Registration Act, where all superheroes had to registrate their power and their identity. So they finally brought this in because this happens in Daredevil in the comics. It looks like they're going to do the registration storyline because he created a task force to hunt vigilantes down. And if you haven't
not a task force
X. No task force X, wrong group. We'll talk about that one day. No, he's got a special task force. So if you guys have ever read the Daredevil book comic called Devil's Day or something like that, this is where Wilson Fisk puts together a special task force to hunt down Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil, anybody with a mask. So I was super fucking stoked that we're finally going to see it. And they're bringing mutants in too. So PB, let's make some bold predictions before we continue with our review. Do you think this is a
42.
setup?
Oh.
Do you think this is going to be a setup for the Mutant Registration Act in X-Men? Because they're also bringing back tonight.
Okay.
They just announced.
So it was a question.
Yeah. So you think they're going to be bringing back?
If it was a question, then the answer is 42.
Jesus Christ! Do you think, because you watch X-Men, do you think they're going to bring in the Mutant Registration Act?
I don't see how they could bring in the Mutant Registration Act at this point when they already did the Enhanced Individuals Act, and we've already had a story that has dealt with it. That's just retreading the same ground.
I mean, that's true, but it is a different act. It's like different bill. You could do several different variations
Yeah,
of the
I
same
know how
villain.
Congress works, guy. Nobody wants to talk about how Congress works, where things are so similar all the time. But you're like, this one's different. I was like, no, it's not any different at all. It's in fact exactly the same, and all you did was change it from an it to a that. That's all you did.
So how Congress works, do you think they will bring it back and make it the Mutant Registration
No,
Act now? Because
no, because
technically they haven't done it yet.
there would be no point. There would be no point. So what? You're gonna have what would be a good example? You're gonna have Colossus have to register, right?
That was
Right. Colossus has to register.
register.
But Incredible Hulk, he does not have to register because he's not a mutant. He's an enhanced individual.
Exactly.
That's fucking dumb.
Okay. What do you
If
think
that
about
happens, I'll probably have to quit watching for a while.
the second variation would be what's called the Vigilante Act, and in the comics, which they haven't done in
Vigilante
this
Act,
universe,
there's definitely going to be some version of that, like, especially if the show goes more than one season. There will be some
Oh yeah,
version
they're already
in
shooting
New York
season 2.
City.
So you're thinking they're leaning towards a vigilante, like anybody in a mask. But if Spider-Man's in this world, I'm gonna have to think they're gonna
Obviously,
have to have
Spider-Man
some
is in
kind of
this world.
cameo, because that would mean Spider-Man would be involved because he's in New York, and it's been established this world is in universe. So I mean,
And who doesn't like New York? Communists.
communists don't. That's who. And jerk. Anyway, uh, uh, so you're thinking more of a vigilante act. So speaking of which, we got the new task force. What do you think about the task force that Kingpin has assembled to go after?
I love it.
But
I love it. I love everything about it. I love that the what I want to say, the police commissioner, that he hates it. He's like, yeah, every bad egg in the bunch, and I was like, you knew that was going to happen.
oh yeah. And you want to hear something interesting? The black guy is actually a comic book character too, Cole.
Why did you ask me if I wanted to hear something interesting if you were just going to say it anyways? I said no.
Oh, I was still going to say it anyways. So, Cole is in the comics, and he is a cop, not a corrupt one. They changed that a little bit, but he is the part of this task force and hunts DareDevil to the ends of the earth. So I'm super excited because it would appear they're using a lot of comic book lore in this show, and they're actually doing it good. And now you can't say that I have an argument with the source material. Now it's in the actual universe.
The source. What do you mean it's in the actual universe? There's all sorts of source material in the actual universe all over the. Like in the source material, there's a man called Peter Parker that wears a Spider-Man costume. That's in this universe.
I hate you so much. Anyways, so we got the task force. And then once again, now everybody has been complimenting this young actress, and I'm sure she's a great person in real life. But I don't see how everyone keeps on saying she's got the best acting in this episode. She fucking walks her dumb ass into the tunnel. And
I didn't think her acting
goes hunting
bad,
for me.
But
I thought that was stupid.
I didn't see her have a Sophia Falcone moment.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I get that to the story, it makes sense. Okay. She went for help.
So if we're putting this on or near Penguin level good, right?
Yep.
If we're doing that, like in this show, the best actor, I feel like, is definitely the main character. Like Charlie Cox is the best actor in the show, but the most impressive person on Penguin is the person who's got to put all the makeup on Colin Farrell.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I almost
But
feel
acting
like
over there, like I would say more often than not, Sophia is like, wow, you're watching her do an episode and you're like, wow, this is really fucking impressive. And then a couple times it's Penguin, and I don't know, you might have an episode here or there where it's an off character that you thought they had a really good one, like either his mom or what's the
kid.
kid's name?
God damn it, we said we'd never let you die.
I mean,
spoilers.
Was his name George? He got choked to death, right?
Yep.
Was his name George?
No.
That's a joke, guy. That's a joke.
George. Oh, you're not even right.
Never forget Floyd.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I went there. Now we're all the way up to one viewer.
So, because it was the Floyd joke. Now they're all gonna come in and be like, "You racist bastards!" Well, if you're white, you can't even bring up that name. Anyway, right. So we got that. Cool. Now her dumbass walks to the tunnel. We get the cool thing. Now, I want to tell you my first disappointment. I couldn't think about it when we were talking, but now I remember. I wanted a more epic suit-up scene. I was a little bit disappointed they built it up, and Matt's finally deciding to become Daredevil. They should have had like long, drawn-out music. They should have did a Deadpool. Remember, like they should have did that kind of a. That's the kind of dress-up scene that I wanted.
The Captain Deadpool.
Yes, like I wanted the whole turns around, smacks his ass.
It's good. He does have a good suit-up scene. I don't know.
He does.
I feel like I like the fact that they skipped that and he just kind of appears out of nowhere almost. At least down in the tunnel. Obviously, you see him on the roof before that, which, oh man, I don't know why they can't seem to get that scene right. Like,
that's bad CGI.
You still get the fucking Uncanny Valley bullshit. And I was like, dude, I thought we had this sorted out in Spider-Man 2. That's 20 years ago. What the fuck are we doing?
It felt like a PlayStation 3 cutscene.
It was weird.
I didn't say 5. It felt like 3, where like you have that janky animation.
Yeah.
And it did not do it justice. But we get to the most badass scene. We'll get to the negative.
You see it happening, and you're like, you got to tell yourself in your mind, he's running across the roof.
You gotta almost like deprogram your mind to not believe what's on the fucking screen. So we get him. He jumps in the tunnel. I'm gonna say this is the best shot of the episode. Just this one shot where he's in the tunnel. Muse comes, looks, doesn't see anything, and then all of a sudden, as you see the train pass with the red headlights, you see this red blur running right towards him. That has got to be the best shot in this episode and probably one of the best shots in this show. I'm just going to say it. It looks so aesthetically beautiful. It was like, so before we get to the part we're going to be probably talking about for an hour.
God, I hope
just the initial start of this fight. Were you not as jazzed up as I was? This had my adrenaline going.
Especially once they started doing the back and forth. Are we just going to talk about one fight at a time?
Yeah. Let's talk about the Daredevil.
Talk about the Fisk fight first. Don't you want to save the main event for
later? Okay, so we'll leave him with that. Now let's cut back to Fisk. So we had seen his knuckles bruised and stuff. We were trying to make theories. Yeah, we thought maybe he was hitting his desk or something else. That's what I thought.
I didn't think that.
I didn't think it was going to be Adam. I knew Adam was captured. I didn't think he was beating the shit out of Adam, but comes down with a fucking axe, and he says, "My father always believed in giving the right tools for the job." I think I do a pretty good Fisk voice.
It wasn't terrible.
The axe, pick it up. Anyway, so yeah, he throws him an axe, and we see poor Adam, man. I don't know who that actor is, but he's got like the first season of Arrow vibes, like the long, shaggy hair, fucking goatee going down to his fucking chest. And this poor bastard, who we knew was probably locked up somewhere. This is the guy who was banging Kingpin's wife while.
I mean, I didn't know that he was locked up. I mean, after they referenced it more than once, I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's a thing going on. And then, what's the first episode that we see him down there? It's either 3 or 4.
Yeah, we see him in the room, but we didn't see him.
Well, you're pretty right. I didn't know that he was down there beginning. I just assumed that he beat the hell out of him and he was dead, and they just weren't going to show it to us, and then it was going to be like revealed in some big fucking revelation where they're in therapy, and he was going to be like, "I killed Adam," and then he was
okay. So hold on, I was on the same train of thought as you. I thought he had killed him already. But unlike you, I thought his knuckles were getting busted because he was letting his anger out somewhere else. Fuck, I thought maybe he was beating Vanessa, but I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So I thought maybe he was beating the shit out of somebody, or he was starting fights, to get that rush. That's where my mind was going. But the whole time, we were both wrong, PB. And I think this reveal was kind of better than revealing he was just dead. No. He has been letting this dude out, giving him the hope that he'll get past him. And at this point now, he gave him a fucking weapon. And Kingpin beat his ass from one end of that fucking room to another. Let's just rate individual fights. I'm going to give this fight a 9. It was fucking amazing. I loved...
Does it count as a fight?
I mean... Well, technically, he is fighting.
It's a drubbing. It's a beating. It's not a fight. He gives him a weapon, and then he proceeds to literally destroy the weapon.
Oh yeah, and he didn't use the weapon once.
I don't think Adam. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Adam lands a single blow. I don't even think he ties. I don't even think he ties him up and works him to the corner. Box.
No, I would say that the Daredevil Muse fight was more even than the Kingpin fight.
It was definitely a fight. Like Daredevil and Muse was a fight. This was not a fight. I mean, I guess if you have to, you'd classify it as a fight because they were fighting in the traditional sense. But one guy wasn't really doing it. Like he was just kind of swinging wildly with the axe, and then holy fuck! I mean, okay, yeah, the Fisk fight and him, I would give that one a 9. No problem.
Definitely a 9. And not just because, look, one-sided fights aren't normally interesting, but it's something about the way Vincent D'Onofrio... Yeah, the way Vincent D'Onofrio, he's like Colin Farrell. He is Kingpin, right? And so to see him... And he's, not comic book size, all big and hunched over. He's just super tall, really built. But to see him throw... Whoa.
You're telling... So you like Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin? You're like, yeah, that's Kingpin? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah. That's my Kingpin right there.
Oh, okay. Because I would say that, I like him a lot, too. But I know that Vincent D'Onofrio is not, in your words, comic book accurate.
Oh, yeah, he is. That's how
you think he's comic book accurate. He does. You think that that's what he looks like in the comics, because Kingpin does not look like a normal sized human being.
Okay, I'm saying you're making a real world. That's as close as you're gonna get to the drawing. But he still has all of the traits and aspects from the comic. He's got the super strength. He's intelligent. He's scary. He's got a gravelly voice.
He definitely has a gravelly voice. Continue on. Obviously, being comic book accurate is only important to you sometimes.
No, come on, we're talking about the fucking drawing. We're going to 3D animate him to be that fucking huge.
That's the most important thing in the comics is the fact that it is a picture, and these are what the characters look like.
Okay, I will tell you one thing. There would be no human way unless you got like that dude who plays Reach or Alan Rickson or someone like that. Maybe you would get close, or Paulie. You would get close to comic book accurate. Like, okay, if they casted Paulie
Yeah.
as
No,
Kingpin,
can you no, because it doesn't have to be comic book accurate. They should cast Paulie as Peter Parker. Hey guys, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
dude, that would be the scariest fucking Spider-Man ever. The villains would be like, "All right, man, I give up. Just
Right?
take me to fucking jail. I ain't fighting that guy. He put 2 bank robbers through a wall. What is he gonna do to me dressed up in a rhino suit?"
Yes, Carmen, before we rant and rave.
Yeah, we are. That's why people say, man, they love the rants. Anyways,
Does he
so
kill him at the end of that fight? Or do we
no,
not know?
no, I don't think he killed him. He just dragged him back into the cell, and he looked like he was breathing heavily. So I'm gonna guess he's not dead. He might have a concussion and brain damage, and possibly be paralyzed. But I don't think he's like. I think he wishes he was dead.
Maybe. So he's not going to have much brain to
Carmen said, no, that fucking Spider-Man sounds creepy. That is not a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That is.
Well, he'd be Paulie's friendly.
That's debatable. He's friendly when he's about to snap your neck. That poor French maid.
What do you mean? He all he did was whack her one time the same way he whacked Reacher. She died. What a pussy.
Yeah. To be fair, though, do we know Reacher even has a neck? I've looked. I mean, I've been watching.
Paulie almost killed him with one hit, and that was.
Oh yeah, that was terrifying, dude. How many times have you seen Reacher take a punch? I thought he was gonna like throw up his lung. That shit was scary. But anyways, yeah, we should do a review on Reacher. Anyways, got off track. So this fight we're giving a 9. We liked it. Terrifying. Let's get back to the Daredevil fight. And so let's talk about the good part first before we point out the major horse in the room, the huge negative. We have a pretty decent fight so far, right? They're doing kicks, they're doing punches. Matt is taking blows from Muse.
Yeah, he was taking them on purpose at one point.
Yeah, to get more rage, and he does that yell. And by the way, I fucking love that yell he does. He's like, ah! I was like, could you imagine someone doing that? Dude, that would scare the shit out of me if I was like a criminal or something. Like, why does this guy let me hit him and scream it like that? Like, and I think he's blind. I asked beat by a blind man.
He's a hell of a lawyer.
So they do the whole bit, and now here's the technical issue, the one flaw we found.
A spectacular fight scene. Just to put it out there, spectacular fight scene. One of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in any TV show that I've ever watched. Because it wasn't the constant like over the shoulder or close up cam where you don't actually get to see the fight. I mean, there's some close-up cam, but there's also some, what do I want to say, like full room shots where you see him fight from one side of the freaking camera, one side of the frame to the other side of the frame. Like, it's very impressive. It's very impressive. And I would like to know how many takes they took to actually get it done. I mean, it's not going to change what it looks like on camera, but it was super impressive. Right up to the point where it was dumb as fuck.
So Daredevil is getting tired of his shit. He kicks Mew with a back kick. He hits his back to the slider. Daredevil takes his thing, shoots the wire he uses to get around, wraps it around Mew's neck. He starts pulling like this, and has Muse hanging. So what is the issue we came across and debated about until I got
Oh
stoned
my
enough
God,
and
we
replayed it?
we debated about it way too much. The problem is, to reiterate, to nobody who heard us talking when we were talking on the phone, which I don't know why they weren't listening. Like, get to hacking there, people. He pulls him and hangs him on a ladder, which is about the dumbest thing that you could ever hang somebody on. Because in order to stop yourself from being hanged on the ladder, all you have to do is go up the ladder. Like, grab the ladder, pull yourself up, grab the ladder, pull yourself up, take your feet, take a step, do fucking something other than just pulling at your neck, because that's not going to help you, because Daredevil's using all of his fucking strength. He's, like you said, he's pressed up against the wall and he's pushing against the wall so that he can pull this guy up, because I don't know, he's probably, let's just say he weighs 200 pounds. Like, he's not a tiny little woman or something like that, or it's not like he's hanging a child. Like, it's a full-grown guy, and he's got to lift him all the way up, and all he has for a counterweight, plus the friction of the bar that he's pulling over, is himself. So he's pushing against the wall to pull him up, except the only thing that Muse has to do is literally grab the ladder and pull yourself up, because that'll loosen the cable around his neck. Like, it'll no longer be choking him. He'll be able to breathe. And yeah, might not immediately get the cable off of his neck right away. Like, he wrapped it around him, 2-3 times.
Yeah.
He went around him a couple times. So it's not like he's just hanging there with the one little hoop. And I feel like he might not necessarily have easily gotten out of it, but I feel like they could have made it more interesting and explained away the ladder instead of completely disregarding it. Because, like what you said to me, you thought that he was pushing against his body to hold him there so that he couldn't do anything. Which, if that was the case, I would have absolutely no problem with this. I'd be like, oh, well, he's just like, all he's got to do is like hold 1 foot down as he's pulling him. You know what I mean? Like, be your own anchor per se, and you'd be able to choke the shit out of him. It wouldn't be a problem. Except it doesn't happen. He doesn't hold him down.
And so here's the issue that I pointed out myself, but I didn't realize until we started talking about it, that could have been fixed. And this is our major issue with this scene. He was embraced against the body like I originally pointed out, because PB followed me with the scene. He goes, no, he was on the wall. And that changes everything, because I initially thought he was using his foot to brace his body out of the wall as he's pulling down, because that what makes the most sense to me. Yeah. And then upon revisiting and rewatching the scene, I was like, oh shit, guys, your boy PB got me. He's absolutely right, because with him just pushing, and I started thinking about it, I'm like, no, there's no way. And look, my whole gist, still give you my way of trying to justify it. Yeah, my way of trying to justify this era was to say, well, maybe he's in a fight. Itchy? What's up, love you, honey? Maybe he's in a fight. The adrenaline's going. He's not thinking, which would make up for the hands. But then PB pointed out to me, which made sense. Okay, so maybe he's using it, he's panicked or whatever, but he still could have put his foot on the ladder. And I thought about it, even on an instinct, when you're choking, your first reaction is to move to try to loosen up whatever around your throat. So if he felt the ladder with his foot, your initial reaction would be to take your feet and try to climb up it to release the tension.
The way that you said that makes it sound like you have a story about something that happened in Russia.
I cannot confirm or deny or even go in depth in that story, but yes, I may know logistically about a situation like that. Thank you, Boris, for that time in Kiev. But, and I will say, the funny part about the story was that we were not in combat. This was just a drunken night, and I will leave it at that. But never get drunk with a bunch of Russians. So anyway, so yes, I do, PB, have some knowledge of that. And yeah, in those situations, your first instinct, if you could feel something behind you, is going to be to try to get a grip on that. So it didn't make sense to me that he wouldn't use his hands. He's trying to, and you could see him trying to get at the rope. But the part they fucked up on was he would have tapped his feet against the side of that bar. And I can assume Muse is pretty smart. He seems to have a good fighting sense. He kept up with Matt pretty good. So a seasoned fighter would have known, or even on instinct, to try to get elevation. Because like you said, if you elevate yourself, you're going to loosen the pressure. But that doesn't happen. And then in another really bad moment here, there's two. So not only the hanging thing, but when he drops him and goes to save the girl. Now, we debated about this, and I said, well,
oh, I completely forgot about this argument that we had.
And you brought up a good point.
Stuff.
I brought up the fact that, yes, it makes perfect sense for him to release this serial killer, and I'll tell you why. Because we're watching the redemption arc, right? Matt is choosing to save a life like a superhero does instead of taking one. So this is in contrast to with Bullseye. He chose to fucking throw him off of the roof because he killed his friend. Well, now he's making a different choice while still wearing the suit, which is he's choosing to save the girl. And so bring up your counterpoint, because I think it's a very good one, and it does.
I didn't even.
Tell us the difference.
I hadn't even come up with this until after we started our conversation. Like, it hadn't even dawned on me. Because yeah, your point was that he was deciding, like at the beginning of the show, his best friend gets killed, and the decision is: do I kill somebody, i.e., Bullseye? Or do I not kill somebody? That's the choice, to either kill or not kill. Like, those are the two options here. And that's what I thought the whole series is supposed to be set up for, is that he's
trying to pretty decently
to kill or not to kill. And I feel like episode 4 with Frank is we're going down that road perfectly. He's like, yeah, it's perfectly fine to kill. You gotta get rid of these motherfuckers. And I was like, all right, yeah. You need, like I said before, they need to go on a retreat together, just so Matt can get his shit together. But
yes.
So the way that the show had been going the whole time is that it's going to come down to whether or not he decides to kill or not to kill. I mean, same thing when he's beating up the cops in that apartment or whatever it was.
Yep.
Beating up the two cops, like, it's just the three of them there, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And if somebody finds these two dirty cops dead, it's probably not going to amount to much. So in that moment, once again, the choice is to kill or not kill. Those are the two options. But in this scene, for whatever fucking reason, they decide to make the option to either kill or save. Like, those have become the options, and they make it explicitly clear by turning the volume down and letting you see that he's listening to each of their heartbeats, and he has to go and save the girl because he's a hero, which I understand that Daredevil's a hero. Like, I get that part of it. What I don't get is why we haven't continued to force the main character to struggle with the choice that he had at the beginning repeatedly, so that he can actually become the person that he's meant to be.
And first off,
wasn't that fucking eloquent?
That was the best, most elegant fucking answer you've done yet. But secondly, to follow that up, this is what we mean, where that old Marvel writing they've been having kind of creeps in, because it felt more convenient. Like, they couldn't set up the scene to where they got him to save the girl and Muse to get away, because Muse is the end game, right? He's the guy who Matt is probably going to have to deal with at the end of the show, right? We knew he wasn't going to die in this episode. He's pretty much set up to be our main antagonist in this season. But it felt like you said, they took the choice away in order to facilitate him being able to escape the situation, rather than writing the same story they've been doing, where giving Matt an active choice and having him choose. Like,
see, I would
the fix is easy. The fix is easy. You take the girl out and you have the same fight, because then, like you said, and we came to this conclusion, you don't have that problem, because now he's not thinking about that life. It's now him and the bad guy. Do I actively choose to let this serial killer go, or do I kill him?
What I think would have also been fun, or could have been fun, however you want to look at it, is if we get past the stupidity of hanging somebody on a ladder, like, get past that. I said the fix for that is just get rid of the ladder and put a pipe in the wall. You just wrap it around a pipe and you pull them on a pipe. That's fine. Like, that's an easy solution to something like this. But they could have had an external factor where Matt, he gets him tied up and he's hanging him there and he's hanging him there. And then, I don't know, the pipe breaks. And it's like, oh, well, this is like almost a sign from God that I'm not supposed to be killing people, because I was going to fucking kill him. And then the pipe fucking broke. I mean, I feel like they could use, have they used any instances like that yet? I don't think they have.
No, they haven't. Not even Netflix.
Where, like, it could even be a person, like somebody he knows. I don't know. The
cop could have followed him down there, nervous that he was going to do something.
I was going to say Jessica Jones.
I mean, they're saving, it's been confirmed, Jessica Jones, they're saving her for season 2. We'll talk about, I'll
it could have been like She-Hulk.
Fuck you, never.
You do realize that she's in the Avengers movie, right? You know this. This is confirmed.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, dude.
I watched the whole thing and no, it's not. I watched the whole thing and no, it's not.
All of them are in the movie.
I saw the names and no, it's not.
They're all in the movie.
She's not in my head canon.
I don't know who you think you're listening to when all of the people that talk about these things, and no, I skipped Emergency Awesome like I have for the last 3 years, because that guy just talks about, I swear to God, he goes into the algorithm. He's like, I'll make this up and everybody will forget it, because I'll have made up another story next week and another story next week. And by next week,
it's been working though. We should do that shit.
I know it works for him.
I can do that.
People click on the video and then click away angrily. Apparently, YouTube rewards stuff like that. That's not the point. The point is, everybody that talks about that kind of stuff and is in the know and reports on it all agree that it's a legitimate leak and all of these characters are in Doom.
Oh no, it was confirmed. Did you not see the live stream earlier? Did you miss the 5-hour live stream Marvel did, revealing the cast for Avengers one by one? Oh, I gotta tell you, it's been confirmed already who's in it.
Okay,
they did it today. We'll talk about that after this episode. So,
no, we're not going to talk about that tonight. We're going to finish talking about it, and then I'm going to leave.
So we had that issue with this, and I did
double issue with the fight, which is really disappointing, because the whole episode was great and the fight itself was spectacular, but to finish it on two F-ups back to back, being that one, you try and choke somebody or hang somebody on a ladder, doesn't make any fucking sense. And then 2, we completely disregard what the struggle of, I'm assuming, the season. I don't think he's meant to struggle with this for the entire series, because then, it's not going to be. There's not going to be a lot of time. There's not going to be a lot of time for hero moments, and that's what this was, and that I don't think is what we needed yet. I feel like the hero moment was supposed to come when, almost incidentally, in the sense that he finally makes the decision, like, I'm not going to kill people. Like, I've got it under control. Like, you know, I'm going to take this son of a bitch in. And the fact that he stopped fighting somebody and saved that little bit of time is going to allow him to save somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. They really screwed the pooch on that. So yeah, let's go to our ratings of this episode. And my gut has finally settled on a rating. It was saying it since we've been talking about it. I've been getting more and more angry with how good this episode is, but how big those mess ups are. I'm going to give this episode a 7. That was sort of hovering. I was at 7.5, and then we started talking about it, and more, it was like, the more we talked about it, the more I got pissed off.
Because I like at first I was sitting at a 7. And then once you brought up the whole, yeah, but he's got to decide whether or not he's going to kill. And then I was like, he doesn't even fucking do that in this episode. And you're like, what? I was like, yeah, he doesn't even fucking do it. I give it a 6. I feel like we gave this the lowest scores that we gave the whole fucking season. And everybody else out there is giving it fucking 8s, 9s, and probably some 10s. And we're sitting down here going, it was middle of the road because you got 2 things. 2 things. Just 2. But, oh, my God, they've ruined the moment so much. And I can't not see it anymore. I can't not see it.
And so for me, I'm hoping that the last 2 episodes, because this is only 9 episodes, we're close to the end. Thank God they started filming season 2. The last 2 episodes, I feel, for us, is going to have to do a lot of kick-ass stuff. Like, I seen clips, it looks like Punisher is supposed to return, and they're going to be dealing with the cops, and Bullseye. But I'm also kind of feeling concerned because now you've got this vigilante task force. You've got Punisher that is coming back by the end of the season because they didn't just have him for 1 episode. And I've seen the screenshots. He's definitely going to be in one of these last 2 episodes. And Bullseye, we know from the beginning, like, that's been set up that he's going to break out. But I'm afraid they're going to leave it to where we don't resolve anything on episode 9. And I would hate that because I was hoping one of these, like, when you get to the end of the season, we don't need everything tied up. That's television. You got to leave stuff hanging. So we go, oh, shit, I got to tune into season 2. Click that motherfucker right away, right? But I'm feeling like they're not going to finish anything this season. It's going to be just a big blue ball experience. And we're going to be just, we're just going to be left with like, oh, that was awesome. It led up to this and then nothing. What are your thoughts? Would you be as angry as I would be if literally none of this shit gets resolved until next season?
I don't think I need any I don't need any resolution for the end of the season. I just need a reveal.
Okay. I'm going to go opposite of that. I want a storyline to be concluded because I feel like when you watch television, like, no, I'm not saying the main storyline, but I go, when you get to the end of a season, typically, you'll have 90% of the stuff wrapped up, and then that goes into what you're saying. You get an extra review.
Right, you have 90% of the stuff wrapped up, but it's the 10% that gets you pregnant.
That's, oh my goodness, you've just been on a roll tonight.
And that's what spawns a second season.
So do you so you're going that route. I would say I want at least 10%, and I don't feel like they've even done like 25% of the story has been wrapped up. It's all been
as a one-to-one comparison, like, I don't what do I want to say? Fisk and what the hell's his name?
Murdock. Matt Murdock.
No. The guy's got him in jail, in his little jail, and he beat up with the axe.
Oh, Adam.
Fuck, man, I was way off. Anyway, like, I just need a reveal in the way that was a reveal. Like, there was the clues sprinkled, especially the knuckles. Like, there was stuff going on, and we haven't had the resolution. Like, we just had the reveal that, oh, he's holding him captive. I just need a reveal at the end of the season. I don't need a resolution.
Oh, yeah, so I get what you're saying, but I feel like the amount we need of reveals, we'll say, are not going to be
Or
met.
if they just want to have, like, She-Hulk come on and twerk, I'm good with that.
I hate you so much. so fucking. That is the worst thing in television I saw. Not the She-Hulk, but Megan Thee Stallion. Fucking hate Megan Thee Stallion with a fucking passion. I think she is one of the worst artists I have ever heard. Oh my god, or seen. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna come out and say it. And maybe I'll have a bunch of Rabbit fans attack me because her fan base is crazy. But I would say it right now. I don't think she looks that good, and I think she's a terrible rapper. Come at me. And I think she's one of the worst parts of that episode.
I can't disagree. Like, I don't have a problem with Megan Thee Stallion, but I don't think she's anything special. She's like Kmart, Nicki Minaj.
That's what I was always thinking. That's what I was always like. Nicki Minaj, I like a lot more.
Me too.
And like you had her on there, then you changed that whole scene.
I find everything about Nicki Minaj better, as in physically, vocally, spiritually, intellectually. Like, I think that Nicki Minaj, at least in stuff that I've seen, has been more entertaining and hilarious than Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. It definitely, there's a night and day difference.
She interviews about as well as Kamala. I've been to the bar.
Okay, so you're going 6, I'm going 7, but either way, this is our lowest rated Daredevil.
Like, I was sitting there the whole time, like, oh, you watched the previous episode, and the previous episode's like getting all the bonus points that it can muster from all of the cameos. You know what I mean? You're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, right?
And for us, it worked a lot better. To be honest with you, I'd say the episode before was
right, and then you come into the next episode, which they are wildly different in what they're showing you and the feel that you get from the episode, but feel very interconnected in the way that the one led into the other one. And then,
oh yeah, without a doubt,
I was jacked up the whole episode. Like, I remember sitting there going, "Oh man, this, like, I don't necessarily like to rate things immediately after you don't have a moment to sit there and think about them, at least for a second." I was like, "Oh, this is like a 9 or 10. Like, this episode."
That's where I was. We said the same exact thing. We didn't know what was off, but I was a 9 or 10 when we first started.
Dropped like a fucking rock.
Then
I was sitting at a 9, and then he hung himself or hung the guy on the freaking ladder, and I was like, boom, 7. And then we talked, and you're like, yeah, but he's got to decide whether or not to kill the guy. And I was like, oh, now it just dropped to a 6 because that was dumb.
And then when we rewatch, and then when you
like, it's not, these aren't terrible. They're not super egregious. They stick out so much worse in this show because of how good it's been to this point.
And that's what we're saying, and I want to make a very clear point. 7, 8, and 9 worry me because I'm not worried.
I'm very confident that these episodes are going to be very good.
I think that I'm confident that they're going to be very good. I'm just nervous of having to ding something for clearly little overlooked things that most people haven't noticed, so good on them. But it does affect the story and direct things that they're trying to do, and maybe other people will pick up after we've said all of these things, or maybe they won't. But I feel like it is a compliment to the show that these things stand out more to us because the rest of the show is so good. And I don't want them to make little shortcuts and cut little corners just to make scenes work, because I don't want it to spill over, like have an awesome season final, right? And then all of a sudden we notice 3 mistakes at the end where it's like, come on, you were going.
That would be disappointing.
Yeah, it's like I want it to stick the landing. This could be the first Marvel show where the last episode is actually good, because just my personal opinion, every single
She-Hulk was good. She came on the screen. She came on
the
screen.
You. That was the worst television show. Get the fuck out of here. You are like Chris Knight. You are the only one who likes She-Hulk.
I'm not.
You're the only person. It got canceled, literally. You're the only person who watched the show. You were that one. I watched it after it premiered. And that's because people hate me. I'm a slave of
I watched it after it premiered as well. I didn't watch it before it premiered.
Oh my god. But yeah, I just don't want the show to screw up. So really quick, what are your predictions for the next episodes?
Predictions are spectacular episodes to come. I don't make specific predictions on, like, do I think a character is going to show up, or do I think that a character is going to get killed off, or do I think that, like, Daredevil is going to lose his pinky toe? I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you this much. Do you think the Shrink dating Matthew, given his history with women, is going to live past the end of this season?
Oh, gosh. Ooh.
Because I feel like, at least
right now, I lean towards no. I lean towards no, but going back to what I said earlier, I feel like there's going to be some outburst at some point where he's going to end up revealing too much, because they were having a very, very fisky conversation before she came in the door, and boom, they cut off the business talk immediately. They're like, oh, don't talk about that anymore.
So, you think the reveal will be he will tell her that he's Daredevil? I think, and I'm going with a 7, and I'm a sick fuck, I think Muse is going to kill her, and Matt's going to find her body, and that's going to be the ultimate decision of whether or not he kills or decides to save. I think that it's going to be like you said, because for me it'll be like you said. They both, now I don't know what Fist is going to be, but I think Matt's is going to be that Muse is going to track down the girl he's with, and he's going to slip up. She's going to get kidnapped. He's going to try to save her, and maybe Muse will make him think he has the opportunity to save her, and then he's going to get there and she's already fucking dead. And it's going to be his choice from the first episode that, okay, this person killed somebody you loved, and maybe it goes to what you said. Maybe he reveals he's Daredevil to her, right? And she accepts him and loves him anyways. And he thinks, for once, I have a happy relationship, And then Muse is going to kidnap her and torture her and kill her. And Matt's going to find the lair and find her hanging there. And he's going to have to make that choice. Like, he's going to beat the fuck out of him, and then we're going to come back to that decision, like, okay, is he going to take him in, even though he killed all these people, killed his girl, or is he just going to end him right there? And I think that, that to me, would, A, make the most sense, and B, be a fucking great ending.
Okay, can we just shout out to all the sanitation workers out there? Solving crimes.
Solving crimes better than the police. Thank you, New York Sanitation.
I really did enjoy that scene too. And we got bad news and worse news, and he just is prattling on, like telling this story about, man, this is the hardest wash job of my entire fucking life. And she's like, just tell him the worst part. And he's like, oh yeah, it's made of blood. I was like, what do you mean the paint is made of blood? And they were like, oh yeah, the base is made of blood. That's why you can't get it off. I was like, Okie dokie.
So yeah, and so just to say, folks, even though PB gave this a 6, I gave this a 7, it's still top tier TV. We still like it. We're still going to give you our reviews of this show, and also we got a special announcement. Might as well just reveal it now for people who might be watching this later. But Sundays, we're going to be doing Stargate Sunday, where me and Pop Culture PB will be doing a 2-episode watch along of every season of Stargate. So we could be doing this till we're 90. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yes, so join us because we'll be doing a Sunday watch along of Stargate SG-1. We're super excited about this. We've been talking about this for a while. So it'll be super cool to do our first watch along. We're probably going to do it earlier because it's 2 episodes of television.
It's getting pretty close to April. It's not going to be super cool. Might be regular.
It's just going to be a regular call. So check that out and check us out again. We'll be back here probably again to talk about more Daredevil shenanigans because I don't know about you so far, depending on how this ends. I could see this in my top 10 television shows of this year. It's got good company. We got Reacher, we got Invincible. And I gotta be honest with you, right now, my Reacher is on my number 1 so far.
You're not watching 1923?
Not watching what?
1920.
I'm gonna wait. I gave Yellowstone a break since the final. I'm still mourning the loss of great writing. That episode was so fucking terrible. I've given Yellowstone a break for a while. Not Game of Thrones level bad, but pretty fucking bad. It was not. I was not happy at all with that ending.
No.
Yeah, it was by far the most unsatisfying ending.
It's like they took the show and they hung it on a ladder.
Yeah, and they kicked the ladder out, unlike what Daredevil did. they did the old-fashioned hanging of the show, like in season 1. So, God rest the soul of Yellowstone. Anyways, so check us out. We'll be back on. Thank you everybody for watching. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the Fandom Zone.
Daredevil is the best Disney Plus Marvel show.